Welcome back, bookworms. Welcome to this week's episode of The Consented Narrative. We are looking at The House That Horror Built by Christina Henry. Now, I love her books. They're very sort of like I can't put them down. So this one, I literally started a couple of weeks ago, and I sat down on the sofa and I was like, I'll give it a go while Michael's playing his game, and and I'll do a little bit of reading. And then I was doing a little bit of reading, and a little bit more. And then Michael was like, oh, do you want to go on the game? And I was like, I've only got like 100 pages left of this book. I need to get it done. And I just couldn't put it down. I genuinely could not put it down. I kept thinking about it. So essentially, it follows single mum Harry Adams, and she goes and she's a cleaner at this big house by a renowned horror director, Javier. And sorry, and she only does it 3 days a week, and you kind of see her struggles outside of like doing this cleaning job, and she's like, I'm such a massive fan of his work, but I can't say anything because I've got to keep this job separate because we're barely getting by, we're gonna get evicted, and so on and so forth. And then slowly it's sort of like she's in this house, and there's this costume from one of his old movies that she keeps seeing move, and she's like, no, it's fine, I'm gonna ignore it, I don't need this, I just need to be doing my job. She tells it off a couple of times as well, which I find hilarious. And then she has a very good, calm relationship with her boss, and then her boss finds out that she's got a son and that they're a fan of his work, and so he starts building up that relationship outside of it. And then you find out that the boss had a son and a wife, and the son was accused of killing someone, and then went missing with the wife years ago, and they never heard from them again. And it's just the suspense that's building, because also as well, like, Harry hears at one point like knocking on the wall and like a voice being like, help me. And she's like, nope, don't need this, not paying attention. Like, she's a very logical person in this book, and I genuinely love it. And it's only when her son comes round and sees the statue move as well that she goes, yeah, maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe there genuinely is something in this. And so through things, they end up, like, her son and her end up living under Javier's roof, and that's when it kind of just all kicks off. And my goodness, like, sometimes I find slow burns, I'm like sat there going, oh, will you get to the point already? Like, come on, we're wasting time. But this one, it was so beautifully done. Like, I can imagine like watching this and being on the edge of your seat. Like, I can imagine this as a film being like, like, do you know what I mean? Because there wasn't like over the tops of stuff like that. And you're fully invested in the characters, you're fully invested in their backstories, you're fully invested in everything. And when you kind of get to the crescendo of the book and you get to the end, and everything that happens, and everything that's revealed is revealed, and you kind of sat there going, holy moly. And genuinely, I was just kind of like, when I finished it, I was just sat there going, I need a minute. I was like, I'm gonna need a minute to just digest what I've just read. But every single time I read her books, I have not read a bad book by her at all. And I'm sure that, because she is very, like, one of the other ones that I did for my channel, she was very full on in that one. But I like the anticipation, I like the suspense, I like the little bits here and there. I like the fact that, the house that horror built could literally be like a happy story. But obviously it's going to be a thriller. And genuinely, you just reach a point where you're like, what's gonna happen next? And I know I said it before in this video, but genuinely, I loved how logical she was. I honestly loved that with every heart of my, like, fibre of my being, where she was like, nope, that is none of my business. That is just the ghost trying to get my attention. But I'm cleaning. I'm going home to my son. That is what I'm gonna do. And legitimately, like, it was just such a good read. And honestly, I would say if you can get it on Kindle, libraries, paperback, hardback, whatever you want to do, I would definitely recommend giving this book a go. If you're a bit of a nervous reader, obviously don't do it. But if you like suspense, if you like horror, if you like thrillers, please, please, please give this book a go. And let me know what you think below in the comments. And I have reviewed her books on this channel in the past if you want to go back and watch those videos as well. But as I said, we are creeping up with the subscribers. I think we're almost up to 350, so we're doing really well. So thank you so much for your continued support. I genuinely love that you guys keep coming back week on week to watch my videos. So thank you so much. And remember to always keep it contento.